Hey everybody, it's Yolanda here from Positive Sum Communications. Thank you for joining me today. I am so excited to be a part of the Live Out Loud Summit that we are doing to promote the book Live Out Loud. It has been such a journey to get here, and one of the things they wanted me to talk about was how am I living out loud? Well, we all know, y'all. First of all, y'all made me actually put on some clothes today because we're in this pandemic, and I had to get up and get dressed in something other than sweats. But I am overjoyed to be able to talk about this project. It has been a little while in the making, and a lot of life has gone on from the time that I actually wrote the piece for this book. But one of the things that I wanted to talk about today is how I've learned to live out loud in my life, and that's been a journey for me. And so today I'm just going to share a little bit about how, even from my childhood, I was the youngest of five girls. Yes, five girls. My poor father, everyone always says. But I think even in that, God had a hand on that one to teach him some good lessons. I've always been different from my sisters in appearance and in thought, which caused quite a few controversies when we were younger. We now get along a lot better, but when I was younger, I just didn't see things the way everybody else saw them. And so this caused, could always cause arguments and conflict. So, but I love my family, I love my sisters, but it is a struggle when you are different or don't think the same as others to kind of be authentic and be yourself. And sometimes you find yourself going along just to survive. And so I learned at a very young age on how to maneuver that space. Not to say that as I moved on in life, there aren't times that we kind of back off of who we are just to be able to move through the spaces we need to. But it started, very young for me. So moving on in my life, like even in college, I can remember times when, for example, I was attending one institution of higher learning, and they basically told me because of my race, they didn't actually recommend their students onto a particular school. And I had to make a decision whether to stay and change my major or to go and do something different. And so for those of you out there who are in school sometimes, I know this is a hard choice. We get in school and we think we're going to do one thing, and then someone tells us to do another. And I'm here to tell you I didn't change my major. I decided to find another school to go to that will allow me to continue my education the way that I wanted to continue my education. So these are areas and times in life where we have to make hard decisions. My parents were not rich. I wasn't on full scholarship to a school, so I had to make a change and a shift, which caused me actually to stay in school an additional year. But it also caused me to learn a very good principle in my life, is that if something is really, really important to you, you have to make a decision whether it's time to fight or stand down. And so that was a point that I didn't want to stand down. So with a lot of support from my family and friends, I decided to move on. And that wouldn't be the end of the ways that I live out loud in my life, because I think as you move through your life and in different seasons, you learn that, life can either beat you up or build you up. So I have chosen at really key moments in my life to allow the hardships and the pain that I have been through to build me up and make me more resilient. And I'm not going to tell you that that is an easy thing to do. Right now we're in the middle of a pandemic, and there is a lot of stress and grief and uncertainty. I totally get it. I went through a very traumatic couple of years. I talk about my sisters, but I lost one of my sisters a couple of years ago. And I just didn't expect it. She was a year older than I was, and we were like the last two that grew up in our home. And so it was a very unexpected loss, and it threw me for a loop. I honestly stepped back from a lot of things, and I kind of wanted to just go into a shell, and grief can really take you on a roller coaster ride. And at the time in my life, there was a lot of transition going on, and there was a lot of things changing. I lost my sister, and then my daughter went off to college. My husband was still in college working on a degree. And then in December, I lost a beloved uncle of mine. And then my job changed, and then I had to go through a job change because of contractual issues. And after that, I lost a cousin. So as you can see, it was one thing after another, and every day I had to make a choice. I had to make a choice whether I was going to quit, which I felt like doing some days. And some days, because of the grief, I just sat in my pajamas, and I just thought about a lot of things. And I think that grief and pain and trauma can make you very introspective and start making you realize the things in your life that you value the most. And then some of those things that maybe you can let go of, because there is a different space you move into when you go through that amount of grief and trauma back to back. And so I sat back, and one of the things that I wanted, and I really determined out of this, is that I wanted to inspire other people to go out there and do the things that they want to do, because tomorrow is not promised to any of us. And I will tell you right now, if it wasn't for some really good friends, family, and my faith, I don't know if I would have mentally come out of that the way that I did. And so now I want to tell other people and encourage other people that are really going through a lot in this time, because I think this message is for this time, that you can come out on the other end and this will pass. And I'm not saying that everything will be easy. I'm not saying things will always go back to the way they were or be the same. They're not, because when we lose people or different opportunities in our life, it is traumatic. And I just want you to know, it doesn't mean that your grief can't help somebody else. One of the things that I've realized in this season, coming through all of that, and thinking about all of the ways I've lived out loud in my life, is that we do this so we can encourage one another and comfort one another. And I think that's right where we are in this season. And I think that the authors in this book, I think that's where their heart came from, is to give you their testimonies and to show you that there is life after, whatever, right? Like whatever that after that thing is for you, there is life after that, and that it can help us to grow and become more resilient. And that life will throw us challenges. There are going to be so many challenges in our lives. I'm sure some of you could express them right now. I can tell you for sure right now, in this season, our daughter is home. One daughter is home from college and she's doing remote learning. The other one is doing remote learning from high school. And my husband and I are here trying to finish up some projects and revamp some stuff in the house. Everyone is in the middle of some type of change or getting used to some type of new norm, if you can even call it that, because I don't think any of us are doing anything normal right now as we would dictate it as norm. But it has been a great time for me to again assess what things do I truly value in my life, and help me to shift some priorities and really think about, when we come out of this season, and I'm not saying I'm running out the door anytime today, because Lord knows I am not going out, but I'm just saying it has given me a time to reflect yet again, process through. Let's grieve those old routines. Let's grieve those old things. There are kids experiencing trauma from, graduation loss and other things like that. We need to take some time to kind of like deal with those emotions and feelings. Take care of yourself. Try to get some rest. But if you're on the front lines, I really want to say thank you so much. I realize that everybody is not home. I do realize that. And somebody, you have to take care of yourself. Self-care is so important during this season. Take a nap. It's okay to take a nap. I realized during the season, I need more rest, right? A way I can live out loud and be great for my family and everybody else is get some sleep, right? So there are things we all can do. Play games take the heat, do a puzzle, read a book if you can, and if you can't, just get some rest. I know there are many people that are still working and still have things to do. So living out loud sometimes means sitting down, right? Taking a break and doing something that fulfills your soul and rebuilds your soul and restores and refreshes you. That can be living out loud too. The other thing I'm realizing as far as me living out loud is sometimes living out loud means choosing your fights, right? So choosing the things that you want to be vocal about and expending your energy on those things and focusing on those things. Listen, ladies, I know we love to try to do a whole lot of things. We're just not built for that. I think part of this season is really making us reflect on the busy that we're usually about, and maybe taking a look at, you know, what things can I make the most impact in and concentrate on those, right? What things are you naturally called to do? I'm a speaker. I'm a talker, right? And when I was young, my family hated that I talked all the time. Okay, I could tell you my dad was like, you'll never get married because you talk way too much. That was what it, well, he didn't know because I did get married, and I married a wonderful man who really takes great care of me and helps me out in any way to be the best version of myself that I can be. But this is what I can do to encourage people during this time. This is the way I can reach out. One of the ways that I do that, to bring a smile to people's faces. I love to joke around, and I love the joy that I have in my life. And one of the ways I resolve to live out loud again in this season is to bring joy to others. I love to bake. I love talking with people. I love hearing people's stories. So what I can do is call people. I can listen to their stories, check in on them, take them some baked goods. Just being helpful wherever I can helps me to live out loud, and it also encourages others to do the same. During this season, I was speaking with a friend of mine or a coworker, and she talked to me about how just doing some of the things that I do at work to encourage her, helping her out with her assignments and things like that, have encouraged her to start stretching herself more and to start doing more, and motivating her to seek certifications and other things that she had pretty much not really been moving on. You see, you don't know how one little thing that you do, something you don't even see as really that big, can inspire somebody else to move, to push the needle forward just a little bit. If my husband was here, he was saying football terms. That's moving the chains right down the football field. So basically, you don't know how you inspire people with your story, with the way that you live. I'm not saying people want to be you. I'm saying they want that fire that they see in you. That's why each of us has to live out loud daily. You have no idea who's watching you. I'll be honest, I don't have any idea who's watching me, but I am so encouraged when someone takes the time to come back and send me a note or a little card, or to just say, Yolanda, thank you. What you said inspired me. And I'll be honest, I have no idea sometimes what I said to them because I talk so much, to be honest with you. But they remember, and that's what matters. You have no idea what speaking out, what you are called to say to people, it will inspire them. You have no idea how it will encourage them. Sometimes it's just a smile. Sometimes it's just a compliment to say, hey sis, that dress looks good on you. Or I love your makeup. That looks amazing today. Compliments cost us nothing. Kindness costs us nothing. And you have no idea how some people sorely need that. Everybody is not encouraged in their life. Some people, they don't hear a kind word. I'm also a hugger, so there's times when, I'll hug people. But right now, we're not doing that because everybody has to practice social distancing. So I just hug my kids and my husband. But you just have no idea the support and love that people really, really need. We all need it. And right now, there's so many isolated people that they really could use a good word or just somebody to just check in. I remember when I was in a lot of grief, it was just those days that somebody out of the blue would just call me and say, you know what, Yolanda, you dropped in my head today. And so I just thought I'd give you a call and check on you. And for those people who did that, that meant the world to me, because it meant I felt like God was dropping people in my life to check in on me, to help move me forward. So one of the reasons I try to help people get unstuck and move forward in their lives and change their perspective is because somebody did the same thing for me. And there were times when I couldn't see my way forward, but somebody took that time to come and inspire me and to say, Yolanda, come on, we can walk this together. So remember, part of living out loud is walking along with people and doing life with them and checking in on them. Yes, I know we all have things to do, and I'm not trying to add another thing to your plate, but I just want you to know that we're not here just for us. We're here to help others and to serve others. And that's what grows us in our own selves. I grow because of the people that I get connected to. I grow because they're willing to tell me when I'm wrong, and they're willing to tell me when I'm on the right track or doing something that is productive and impactful to them. I don't want to waste my time being busy. I want to be impactful. I want to live out loud when it matters and not fight fires that really don't have that much of an impact. There's enough for all of us to go around. One of the reasons I picked the name for my company that I did, Positive Sum Communications, is because positive sum means we come up with a win-win situation that helps both of us and works for us. But a zero